Hey everyone, so I am back with like an update on my pretty much my IVF fertility journey. Last video was a update of me going through the process of an frozen embryo transfer. I was gonna do, or I did my frozen embryo transfer on January 10th of this year of 2023. Unfortunately, it failed. Didn't work out, and I'm gonna go through like the details in the process, pretty much of like what happened and what happened on that date exactly, and how I felt and all that stuff. So January 10th came, or pretty much before, I did all my injections. Everything looked good. My lining looked good. My estrogen, progesterone looked great. They did like add some like supplements or supplementaries for like 4 days, and then they did like update some like injections, meaning like gave me a little bit more just to balance everything out. But after all that, everything looked great. Like I said, January 10th came. We did our frozen embryo. So pretty much we needed to be there by 8:30, and the transfer was going to be at 9. I needed to drink like 32 ounces of water, needed to have a full bladder. So they took us in this little, pretty much like an ultrasound room, but it's a little bit more next to where the embryologists are at, so they can get the embryo like next to the room pretty much, so it can be easier. So yeah, so pretty much we went in there. I undressed from the waist down. Pretty much the ultrasound technician came in, checked first my bladder. It wasn't that filled, or it wasn't like that full, so I drank another like bottle. I drank like 2 bottles of water beforehand, and then it was still not enough, so I drank more water. And with all that 30-minute wait, pretty much it got filled, and I was literally ready to go to pee, literally. Overall, I was anxious, nervous. I was way more nervous peeing on the doctor than the whole process. Did not hurt or anything, nothing like that. So, while we were waiting for the doctor and everything, the ultrasound technician came in, checked every like 20 minutes or so. Then the embryologist came and explained the whole process, pretty much, that our embryo was good. After they thawed it, pretty much, they did give us a little picture here of our embryo that we transferred. So it was perfect, great. They did like cut a little bit of the little circle that you see there, just to like open it up pretty much, so it can like grow more. We did know the gender of this one. This was a boy. We did transfer a boy. So pretty much we signed consents and everything like that, and they said it was pretty much easy. Then our doctor came in, did the whole thing, had my legs open, and pretty much it was like a little type of, I don't know how to explain it, but it was pretty much like a little needle with a long string of a tube that goes into your cervix. Didn't hurt anything, like nothing. I didn't even feel anything. Like I said, I was more nervous than on peeing on the doctor because I needed to go to the bathroom really bad. So yeah, it went in easily. My husband did take a video, so I probably will put that in like right now. You'll see it's just like a little flash of light. And they just squeeze it, take it pretty much, or just push it in, take out the thing. Then the embryologist goes back to their room, look under the microscope to see if the embryo is not there. And yeah, they said, okay, everything's good. I was pretty much pregnant, pretty much, until you've proven otherwise. But yes, it was pretty much easy. It did not take long at all. It was pretty much like we started like around 9, and then we were out by 9:30. So it's like an hour procedure before and everything. So it was pretty easy. Afterwards, they did give me a little ultrasound picture. You can tell that little white bubble right there in the middle, that was pretty much the embryo. Yeah. So I did keep these, just even though it was a failed FET, I keep them just for a reminder. But yes, so it was pretty much a 2-week wait on our blood work and stuff like that. The first day they said just take it easy, just lay down in the bed, don't do anything. After that, you can, like, after the following day, you can just do normal routine. Don't do much exercise, don't do exercise, nothing heavy or anything like that, but just be careful and stuff like that. I did lay in bed pretty much most of the day, or pretty much all day. Yeah, and I was going through my days, pretty much my normal life. It is anxious, nerve-wracking, stressful to wait for a 2-week wait, because you're just thinking and thinking, you're stressing, and I know that stress is really bad for you, and I'm literally the definition of stress. I'm a stressful person when it comes to things like this. But yeah, I didn't feel that much throughout the days. I did feel cramping on pretty much the whole time that I was waiting, but nothing else. Then of course you start doing your research, and then you start taking pregnancy tests. I did take a pregnancy test on the 4th day after transfer, came back negative. Next day, 5th day after transfer, negative. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th day, all negative. Some of them did look like it was like a super, super faint line. So I kept my hopes just to see if it was like pregnant, but again, I did not feel anything. When I did my research on other people, I know everybody's different, but a lot of people on the 4th or 5th day, they already had a positive line. I did not. Some people feel tender breast, vaginal discharge differently, and stuff like that. I didn't feel anything of that, or didn't see anything of that. Then on Wednesday, after the procedure, we did our beta 1 blood work. We didn't get the results. We were getting the results on Friday, the 2nd beta. So we went in for beta 1, did all the pretty much the blood work. Then we went in again on Friday. But before that, I did take another pregnancy test on Thursday, and that was like the 11th day after transfer, and still negative. So I was already crying by Wednesday, and I already knew in my mind, like, you already know, your body knows that it didn't work, like it failed, like it didn't work. My husband was like, it will work, don't worry, you are pregnant. And that made me feel a little bit more anger, but I understand he wanted me to be more positive and stuff, but I knew for a fact that it did not work. Your body knows. As a woman, you know if you're pregnant or not. So yeah, so we went in the morning. The results were going to be after like 12. And yeah, so we were waiting all day, anxious, super nervous, and around like 12, almost 1, our nurse coordinator called us, and pretty much with sad news. You can tell by the voice. She was like, I'm sorry, it did not work. You're not pregnant. Pretty much it didn't stick at all, because beta 1 didn't have anything of HCG at all. It was like less than 0.100, whatever it is. Same with beta 2. So it did not work at all. And of course I started to cry. Same with my husband. It's an emotional and physical, pretty much whole thing is physically, emotionally draining. And it's of course sad. thinking that you're pregnant and trying to be positive and stuff like that. But pretty much the doctor already, or the nurse told us it didn't work. We're sorry, we don't know exactly what happened, because pretty much all of my numbers were great. Because all of my estrogen, progesterone was like great. They were like on high levels, like they wanted, not too high, not too low, just perfect. The nurse did put a video call on the 30th of January for the doctor to give us a call to see what's next and what's the next steps. But yeah, after the call, me and my husband started to cry. We pretty much stayed in bed all day. But yeah, so that happened. Days passed and stuff like that, and me and my husband were literally talking about, let's just take a break. My body is pretty much exhausted. I am mentally drained. My body is drained physically and mentally. Let's just travel for a bit and just come back whenever we're ready, around like May, because around March it's my birthday, and we're gonna go to Mexico, Tijuana, and then in April, end of April, in the beginning of May, we want to go to Canada to see my sister-in-law and my father-in-law that's coming from India. So we thought of like taking a break. I did research pretty much of taking breaks, or just to do another transfer, but it's pretty much up to me to decide on whether to do it or not. For like a week or so, I was like, you know what, I'll do it. For a few days, pretty much, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break. We'll just let the doctor know that I just want to do a lot of tests before we do a transfer, and to see what's wrong. The nurse did say that they wanted me to do an let me double check what's called. So they wanted me to do a endometrial biopsy for chronic endometriosis. Pretty much they grabbed tissue from my cervix, uterus, took pretty much a chunk, and then send it to the labs to biopsy to see if I don't have any infection or anything like that. Because pretty much the doctor and the nurse says that's the only explanation that we have currently why you're not pregnant, is that if you're positive or something comes back with the endometrial chronic endometriosis, whatever it's called, biopsy comes back positive, we can go ahead and treat it for a 2-week pretty much cleanse. They gives me like pills and pretty much antibiotics to like clear it. So she pretty much did that. Then that was pretty much the whole thing. That's the next step. We did send her an email saying, you know what, we are going to do it right away before March 31st, because that's when our insurance ends, before everything starts again. And so that was another reason that we wanted to do it, because our insurance ends, and pretty much this is our last chance to see if we get pregnant by the insurance. After this doesn't work, then we will have to pay full pocket. And we're probably, if that happens and this doesn't work our second time, then for sure gonna take a break, and then we're gonna be doing another IVF round, but in India, because it's way cheaper, and it's pretty much, it will be easier for me just to stay there with my father-in-law and pretty much my husband's family, and my sister-in-law can come and take care of me and all of that stuff. And while my husband is still here, because he has to come back and forth for work. Currently I'm not working, so yeah, so that will be our like plan B if this doesn't work, or FET second time doesn't work. We're doing IVF in India. But yes, before all of that, the doctor called on the 30th and pretty much explained everything. She said, I really don't know what to say, or I don't have an answer of why you're not pregnant currently. And that's devastating, because you don't want to hear that from a doctor, why you're not pregnant. They're doctors, they have to know answers. But yes, she pretty much gave me the whole rundown of what to expect on our next round of FET. So she said, I want to do that endometrial biopsy for chronic endometriosis to see if maybe that's the problem. And then pretty much put steroids in me, or I think steroids. I think they're more injections to just have more of a stronger hold with the embryo. That was pretty much the difference. And then when it's a transfer, they want to do what's it called? Put glue on the embryo. It's called embryo glue. Yeah, so they want to do the difference between what's our different protocol is steroids, and then for the transfer they want to do embryo glue. Pretty much instead of a normal transfer, just to like, you just pretty much you just leave it there, they put like a type of glue around it so it can stick more. Never heard about that, never knew that that's something that never knew that is something that you can do. So those are the two different things that they're doing. And then on the 31st I went in for that biopsy. The most painful experience of my life. I thought the water sonogram was painful. This was triple the pain. I did take pretty much pills for pain, say like Tylenol or something like that for pain, like 30 minutes before. They didn't work. I took like 600 grams of pain pills and did not work. They told me just to take that for just thing, because the doctor said it was going to be like crampy, like a cramp type of. It was not like a cramp. It was way worse than a cramp. So I went in, pretty much it was like a type of how they do like a transfer. It's like a wand, or like a pat smear. It's a type of pat smear. They open up your vagina, and they put that little silver thing to open up your vagina, and then they go through the cervix. One thing about me, my cervix is so closed up that they had to put like this type of spray, numbing spray, to insert pretty much whatever they have to insert through my cervix, because it's so tight and closed up that it rejects every time they want to put something in. Oh God, I can still remember the pain. It was the most painful experience of my entire life. I'm probably just preparing for giving birth, because of course birth is painful. So yeah, they took out pretty much like a chunk. My husband said it was a chunk, like a big chunk, because he was literally next to me. So they took it out, and then they took they said it was a week of results. Pretty much my insurance did not cover that, but luckily our clinic is really nice. They covered the procedure. The only thing that we had to pay is when they did the results. Pretty much they'll bill us the bill that's like I think $200 or $300, but luckily we saved ourselves like almost $200 for just the procedure from the clinic. But yes, then on Friday, February, I believe it was like the 3rd, I believe, the doctor pretty much emailed us saying that it would look normal. Like, that's like normal. That's a good news. I don't have to do like antibiotics or anything for 2 weeks. I can start right away for my next FET, but that still doesn't explain why our first FET didn't work. And I'm those type of people that stay quiet. I don't ask questions that much with doctors. I don't yell at them, because they're doctors. They do their job and stuff like that. But I really just want to know why it did not work. Like, what's our next step if this doesn't work either? Like, what are we gonna do? And I understand that some people do like 5, 6 IVF rounds, and then like 9, 10, 12 FET transfers until they get a positive. I just want to know, maybe on those type of cases that does not explain my my infertility, like on those type of cases that, oh my god, we don't know what's wrong with you. But hopefully I start soon. Today is the February 5th, Sunday. My coordinator, my nurse coordinator, is gonna have everything ready by tomorrow. I am currently on birth control pills. And then I'm gonna start like Lupron and all of that stuff. I don't have everything set to go, but I will do another video on what changed exactly on my protocol, so I can be more in depth, because that's the only thing I know that it's gonna change: steroids and embryo glue for my transfer. But yes, that's pretty much my update on everything. So hopefully by tomorrow I have everything. I did send my nurse on the medication that I have currently, because I know most of the medication expires around April, May. So I need to use that soon. But that's pretty much all. I'll do an update soon on what's next. And yeah, hope you guys pretty much enjoyed my little rant and talk of what's next. I know some people follow me on Instagram, and I appreciate that you send messages with like with nice comments and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that. I do post more stuff also about my IVF and stuff like that on my Instagram, so you can totally go check that out or follow me, and I'll have updates there too. I don't put that much stuff there because I have family, and sometimes I want to keep it private, but yeah. But yeah, I'll see you guys on my next update.